Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, December the 16th. I'm Carmen Fuentes. Thanks for waking up with us for News 4 this morning. Southeast Health was the first hospital to administer the Pfizer vaccine Tuesday morning, among the 15 Alabama hospitals in the state who have it. WTVY's Kinsley Centers witnessed history being made and has this morning's top story. Meanwhile, Food and Drug Administration leaders say Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine appears to be very promising. That's according to a member of the FDA Vaccines Advisory Group. Dr. Paul Offit says the Moderna vaccine looks to be roughly 95% effective at preventing disease. The FDA's Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee is set to meet tomorrow to review Moderna's vaccine for emergency use authorization. Meanwhile, vaccine advisors to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention will meet this weekend to discuss Moderna's vaccines and the next phases of distribution. Turning to weather for a moment, it's been talked about for several days now, and a major snow event is set to begin tonight across several northeastern states. Here's a live look at Boston this morning, just one of many major cities under winter storm warnings, along with New York City and Philadelphia. The Weather Service expects travel to become a major issue tonight into Thursday, with some places seeing as much as a foot of snow and dangerous gusty winds. Meanwhile, the Wiregrass just seeing a cold rain overnight. Here's a live look at downtown Dothan, including the Dothan Civic Center. To find out what we can expect ahead, let's check in with meteorologist Zach Hatcher. He's got a first look at our hump day forecast. Zach, my car was certainly wet this morning when I walked outside.
Yeah, Carmen, mine was too.
Well, not since Jimmy Carter's election as president decades ago have so many eyes been on Georgia. At stake today are two Senate races that could tip the scales of political power. WTVY's senior reporter Ken Curtis is in our newsroom. Ken, good afternoon. How pivotal is this election?
Well, Carmen, it's very pivotal. We all have seen those commercials, Carmen, the President Trump and President-elect Biden both paying a lot of attention to Georgia, as is the nation.
Now, Ken, I know we spoke earlier, and you mentioned that the weather could play a factor in the number of voters that turn out today. Is that correct?
Well, it is a very nice day. You would think that would uptick the voter turnout because sunny skies and tolerable temperatures usually mean more people get to the vote. Again, so much money spent on this race, so much at stake for the political landscape of the nation. I think it's going to draw a massive and perhaps a record amount of votes in Georgia today.
Well, only time will tell.
Time always tells,
That's
Carmen.
right. Ken, thanks
Absolutely.
a lot. And we'll have an update on the implications of the Senate race tonight at 5. Well, we are joined this week by Senator Doug Jones. Senator Jones, thank you so much for joining us today on Facing the Fall.
Hey, it's my pleasure to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, Senator, since COVID-19 first began, you started hosting weekly virtual meetings with special guests. What led you to do this?
Well, you know, look, I've always believed, and I started...
Now, a big issue here in this part of the state is still adequate testing. We've seen people waiting in line overnight just to get tested.
Right.
What's being done to fix this?
Well, you know, one of the things that I wish...
Yes, sir, absolutely. Now, you mentioned schools, and we're seeing a mixed bag on recording of cases from our schools here in the Wiregrass. Would you like to see more information flowing on how many cases school systems are dealing with, and what do you think can be done to make this better?
Well, number one, I think transparency in a
Senator, you and Dr. Harris weighed in on this earlier this week, but I want to go back to it for a second. There is a serious lack of rule following when it comes to Governor Ivey's orders. Now, state leaders have not really shared a plan for who should be enforcing these orders. You've said some of this is personal accountability, but we're talking about businesses, workplaces, and even our own schools. Now, while these may be hard to enforce, what's the point of having the orders if there's not going to be an enforcement of them?
Well, you know, look, Alabama people need to continue to not let their guard down, accept that personal responsibility, as uncomfortable as it might be. Wear that mask, protect your family, protect your neighbors.
Yes, sir. Senator Doug Jones, I know you're a busy man. I want to thank you for taking the time to join us here on our Facing the Fall Live at Lunch special. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
The state's